Welcome to Spirit Walker with your host, Dr. Jeffrey Pierce, and co-host Cindy Pierce. A true psychic for his entire life, Jeff Pierce will bring you the answers to the questions that you need to know, as well as explore topics that most people are afraid to address. Now, here's Dr. Jeffrey Pierce and co-host Cindy Pierce.
Welcome to another week of Spirit Walker.
That was Cindy, in case you're wondering. I'm Jeff. It wasn't me, I swear. I'm glad you made it to the show today.
Today we have Bill Mound returning to give us a few more predictions, some scary things, some not so scary things. It's not all about destruction. It's not all about total chaos. There's hope.
There's always hope, but the thing is you can't be an ostrich and stick your head in a hole in the sand either. You need to know what's coming and face it and face your fears and prepare so you can prevail.
Sometimes that fear is a reality slap. Hey, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we have to be prepared.
That's true. It happened to me 2 days after my wedding.
Oh.
That was a reality
Okay, he's
slap.
off the show. This is a one-man show now. So we're not talking about a democracy here in this wonderful land of the U.S. We, the people, no longer have power.
Well, let's talk about this a little bit. There's a threat to two governors right now, and it's a threat, I believe, by a federated government, just as there's another threat to me, which seems to pop up about every 3 months, either with bullets. I've been stabbed. I was shot with a rubber bullet. I've been poisoned 3 times.
Wow.
And indeed, when I quit TV, there's probably another threat on my life. And the reason there's a threat is because I want the preservation of the United States of America. My ancestors from the beginning of time and your ancestors who are here and all who stand on this continent have a host of ancestors to go back, who knows, 10,000 years. And maybe it's time that we start asking for help. Maybe it's time we all get on our knees and say, whatever's out there, our ancestors, our spirits, our God, we need help. Now we have 4 cities potentially going up in a nuclear holocaust around Christmas. That would be Chicago, which will be a white car, kind of rusty, 2-door, 1980-ish, 90-ish old Toyota, coming in, taking a taxi to get out. We have a brown package the size of an ottoman on the north. I've seen the exact site it's going to be. It's on the north and the eastern section of New York City on a cement pad, not between 2 bridges, but between 2 piers that go out. If you're in New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And we have a nuclear weapon that looks like a boom box that will be left in a brown package with a strap on, or brown or black, or I'm sorry, blue or black, on or around the Jefferson Memorial around Christmas. That's about a 15 to 25 kiloton one. And I do think Houston, Dallas, I'm thinking Governor Perry, go take a long trip to Central Texas, get out of Austin. Wow. And then there's a threat to Brian Schweitzer. I've got to get the dates right because if I get the dates wrong, I mean, we're talking about the elimination of governors. They got rid of Blagojevich. They got rid of the governor of New Jersey. They got rid of a dozen governors. We're talking Montana around Easter time. And Dave Frugenthal, who I could use a little help from right now, somebody's going to try to kill you on or around the 14th of December. So,
The 14th, that's
February, I'm sorry.
February, okay.
Yeah, I got to get the dates right. I'm giving you the heads up. This is what we'll broadcast on TV.
Right.
So, yeah, this republic has been compromised, and the governors who still think it's a republic, they're ready to take out. And I won't tell you who they are. They can call me or bring me to their capital cities if they want to know who. We have this great democracy or republic of ours has been taken over. And
I agree. We no longer have the power. We gave it away ourselves a long time ago without realizing what we did.
Well, we did. We gave it away for money, Social Security.
That isn't even there, really.
I don't know how it is in Minnesota or up in Wisconsin, but we have there's a church of 3,000 Russian members, and I love the Russian people. But every one of these members was sent here because they were prisoners. And they get here and they go to the Social Security office and they get on $2,642 a month. and then they sign up for welfare, and then they get the county to pay for their house. So my adopted sister, who has two relatives who live in Kiev, my adopted mother and father, she gets $5,282 per month for these two people.
Wow.
And she sends them $240 a month. Now, I went back there and we got their welfare raised. They're 62 and 63. So instead of getting $240, they now get $400 a month. So I helped them. We did some diplomatic stuff. They got recognized and everything. But this economy can't sustain. It's purposely set up to collapse, and it's collapsing.
You're right. It's going to implode from inside.
I see the same thing. April of 2011, economic implosion, because what was a $13 trillion economy with a $500 billion deficit and a $500 billion going to Social Security recipients, that was a $14 trillion economy 4 years ago. Now we have not a $13 trillion with a trillion government deficit stuff. We have an $8 trillion and $6 trillion government spending. That makes $14 trillion. But we've gone from 13 to 8. There's people on the streets. There's foreigners sucking the system dry. It's on a death spiral.
We have our own people we can't take care of. Last month, Obama signed a $20.3 million thing to help Haitian refugees. They're going to have more than our own people have.
Well, understand this. The Social Security Department, not in the budget, will spend, I want people to understand how big this is, $2,000 billion for foreigners on Social Security.
For foreigners?
Half of them don't live here, so we have to provide health care for them overseas.
And they don't even live here. That's not right.
My adopted relative, Vladimir Tchaikovsky, lives in Kiev, and his sister gets $5,200 a month for it. And there's 45 million of them now. And it was set up to collapse. And the poor retired folks are getting what? $1,000, $1,100, $1,200?
Trying to get by.
Yeah, wondering if they qualify for the reduction in property tax according to United States Code 42, blah, blah, blah. Can I buy bread? Can I buy dog food because it has meat in it? 1/3 of all canned dog food 40 years ago was sold to seniors for
that
food.
is so awful.
And now half of dog food and cat food is sold to seniors for food.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, we the people have no power whatsoever.
No. So what do we do as the people?
Yeah, what do we do? Where does it go?
What can we? This is why your listeners are so very vital, because the people out there, once they know the truth, I mean, God has the solutions, but I don't see anybody knocking my door down. Every step along the way, the sale of military records across the world by the VA has created WikiLeaks, a group of CIA military folks in China now who've duplicated our federal database and sent it all over the world. Everything has been duplicated. Launch codes, algorithms, to get the launch codes, your Social Security number. They're already beginning to shut financial corporations down because they think they're untouchable. Verizon, Wells Fargo, they're hitting them hard. Amazon, they're trying to...
The decline has already started.
They're trying... Well, these people in WikiLeaks are trying to warn our federal government that stop the leaks. It's bad. So they're releasing little bits of information from these foreign computers saying, please stop the destruction of this country. We don't want it destroyed. Then they release a little more. Then they say, please don't destroy the nation. Then they release a little more. And they still keep selling the military records.
So who's behind all this?
Well, that's a good question. And that's for another show. But that really is for another show. It took me an hour just to describe the chain of command in the world.
Oh, I'm sure.
It goes something like this. The Pope is number one to Satan, believes he's Satan incarnate. Satan is Jesus, Jesus is Satan, Satan is Lucifer the light. They say God's name was I am that I am, Yeshua Yeshua. The God's son who came to the earth was Yeshua, not Jesus, as the French and the Roman Catholics changed it to. His money manager for the Pope is Nathan Rothschild, who went in to manage the Bank of London. The Bank of London started all of the Federal Reserve banks around the world. The European Union Federal Reserve Bank, the French Federal Reserve Bank, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank. They did it all illegally. They broke every law in every country. And now they control the purse strings. They tell you what to do, and you do it. And they do things like they put you in a compromising position, like they tried with me, selling insurance illegally. Then I have to do what they say, or they put me in jail. Well, I refuse to do that. And once they compromise people, then they have them by the gonads, and they tell them what to do, and then they do it.
Well,
and they
you
have to
figure
obey.
the banks in the United States in World War II were giving Hitler loans for his war effort against us.
That's right, and Henry Ford built the Tiger Tank factory and sued the United States government for bombing the Tiger Tank factory after World War II, and Ford was paid for all of the Tiger Tanks that were not made after they were bombed by us, the people.
Oh, wow.
Then you had Goodrich that built the Zeppelins for Nazi Germany.
Oh, it goes way back. You have, up until 1864, you have the muskets for the Southern armies being made in up north in New York somewhere, and they were being shipped down to the south, and Lincoln found out about it, and he stopped the North from making the Southern muskets. They were using U.S.-made Springfields.
I mean, so this government's been backwards for a long, long time, just getting worse and more dangerous.
So who do we call, call Ghostbusters? Who do we call in to help us? Who?
Well, it's like with the Native Americans, all right? We had our code talkers, which were Navajo in World War II.
Right.
And while those men were off risking their lives for this country, they were rounding up the Navajo women and sterilizing them.
And taking the children and grinding them up, from what I've been reading and what's happening in Canada.
They did it way back then?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's been going on, long time.
The evil doesn't change. It's just that we have an entire public that has been brainwashed. The Echelon Project, Project Echelon, was started after World War II to monitor everything we say and do, even when we fart. That's not a joke. I filed a notice of flatulence in federal court. Nobody even batted an eyelash because I was exposed to the bioweapons from Iraq. So
let's switch gears to some more interests of our viewers.
Yeah.
Talk some more about the oil, the BP in the Gulf, and what's going to happen. Hopefully not in Chicago. We touched on it last week.
We're going to get into that after the break.
Okay.
Stay with us.